Hello. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Hope you are having a wonderful. Oh, thank you. I was like, I just threw it up. It felt like one of those days. It's supposed to be really nice today, so I threw it on top of my head. Let me get over to YouTube real quick. I'm going to switch this over. Happy belated birthday, Mary. Well, I did say happy birthday on your post, but happy birthday. Yesterday, Mary turned 30. The big 3-0. So everybody say hi to Mary. Say happy birthday. Hang on one sec. I'm having a hard time getting over to YouTube for some reason. Here we go. Good morning. Good morning. I'll tell you what, daylight savings time has really messed me up this time. I don't know what it is. Like, I am normally up at like 5:30, 6 o'clock, but now like my alarm goes off at 7 and I am struggling. I'm like, oh God, I can't get out of bed. I don't know what it is. I'm struggling. All right, let me see. Okay, so I'm not the only one. All right. So live. Yes, Ashton, like the last 2 days, he is not about it. He is not about it. He does not want to get out of bed. He does not want to go to school. And now normally they're up by like 6:30 and like they're not even wanting to get out of bed by 7. And I'm like, we gotta go. All right, so we are currently over on YouTube, switched to subscribers only, so we are all set. Let me get over to where we need to be on Facebook for our notes. Oh, thank you. You guys are so sweet there. literally just we'll try something different today. So maybe I need to wear it like this more often is what you're telling me. All right. Thank you, Christina, for the notes. All right. We don't have a whole lot of notes today. It wasn't like a real crazy week. I mean, we don't have any new guidelines. We don't really it was just like a chill kind of week. So that's a good thing, right? We like when we have those kind of weeks. So it'll probably be like a pretty quick, it was real chill. So probably like some quick coffee chat and then like maybe some questions. All right, let me get us over to our notes and then we will get started. So I hope everybody had a wonderful week. What is happening? We're all just ready for spring. I think like everybody's like getting a little stir crazy and wanting that change of season. And so we're just in anticipation. We're going for the change of hair, possibly is what's happening. So, all right. So for members, we are currently at 39,682 members. That's 494 new members since last week. A pretty decent jump. Nothing crazy. I noticed that our numbers are not, as far as new members go, they're not like we had some really good strong numbers there for a minute. I gotta log in here. I don't remember what I changed my password to. Hang on, yeah, I do. Let's see if that works. Oh, there it goes. All right, let me pull up my insights. Seller dashboard. My coaster keeps sticking to the bottom of my coffee mug. I know, almost 500. It's crazy. Welcome to our new members. We love having you here. We love our new members. It's so exciting. Seller dashboard. It doesn't want to take me to my seller dashboard. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Something is wonky this morning. It's not working like it did last night. Something's wrong. They did an update. It doesn't love me this morning. Oh, shoot. Hang on, stand by. There it goes. Let's try this again. Okay, now it's going to work for me. All right. Sorry, there was an update. It logged me out. Things are happening. Yeah, it's being wonky. Something happened. I can tell usually when they're working on something because I get logged out or I can't access something right. So it's all good, everything. But that's a good thing because then things, change and they work smoother after I get it all figured out. So, all right. Let's see. Let's get into our insights. As far as activities go, oopsies. Oh, it's on. That's so weird. It's not. It's default. Okay. Don't worry. I'll get it figured out. There we go. All right. So new members. So yeah. So our new member count has kind of leveled off. I think partly is my fault because I haven't been doing as many lives as I was. I was kind of sick for a while there, and then I was just kind of in a funk. But I had 2 lives this weekend, and we did kind of we brought it back strong. Over the weekend, we had some really good numbers as far as new members go. So I'm going to have a few more sales this week. I always appreciate when you guys are, promoting Niknax, putting it out on your social media, multicasting. That's always really huge. So if you're if you have a Facebook presence, remember you can always cast to Instagram as well. It takes a little bit more effort to cast over to Instagram, but if you have a following over on Instagram, it's possible to do. You can do that. You can always cast over to Instagram. It's just, for me, it's like, oh God, I have to do the thing. And then I don't do the thing because I'm always late anyway. And then So anyway, welcome to all of our new members. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. We appreciate you being here. Feel free to explore, make sure that you are checking out our buy it now listings. We have about 100,000. Am I casting to Facebook? Yes, I am. That reminded me. We have 100,000 listings to go and check out. 101,000. Well, we'll get to that, but it's saying 101,000. A lot of listings. So if you're not like the live sale person, you don't like to sit through live sales, you just go up to the search bar, type in what you're looking for, go support some of our sellers. And speaking of supporting our sellers, if you go look for my little store icon somewhere here on the screen, you can click on that. Cynthia Lee found it. You can click on that and you can find some of the listings that I hand-picked, with my finger from around the marketplace. You can go support some of our sellers. I know that they would appreciate it. I did flowers again because I'm ready for spring. We have all of our little flowers popping up in the yard and I'm feeling it. So I picked flowery stuff from around the marketplace for you guys to go and check out. So anyway, we have 4,250 sellers. I don't believe I added any new sellers since last week. I thought about it this weekend, but then I got distracted, and so it didn't actually happen. But that's okay. That's what partly makes Niknax so great is that we have a very healthy seller to buyer ratio. I think part of the problem, that I see with other sites is that there's too many sellers and not enough buyers. So I take a lot of consideration into making sure that we have a good ratio. And I like to make sure that there's a balance there. So every so often, whether we have a lull in new sellers, but it's worth the wait if you are waiting. Jojo is asking, how long does it take to get approved as a seller? It depends. It depends on how much information the Charles Lawton is amazing, isn't it? It depends on how much information you've supplied in your application. How much information is there? It depends on what you're selling. For instance, currently we have a lot of jewelry sellers. So I'm, more apps. if I have two applications side by side, one is a hard goods seller, one is a jewelry seller. If I had to pick between the two right now at this moment, I'm probably going to approve somebody who's selling hard goods over jewelry, just because we have so many jewelry sellers right now. We could probably use some more hard goods sellers to just balance it out. So I'm looking for balance. That's not to say I'm not going to approve the jewelry seller. We're just, we're looking for balance on the marketplace. So as we get more hard goods sellers, and then we have a balance between hard goods and jewelry, I'm going to start approving more jewelry. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. So there really is no right answer to that question. But it could take a week, it could take a month, it could take 6 months, it could take a year. It could take 2 years. We are not even at the 2-year mark though, so that's a lie. If you are waiting and you send me an email to community@niknax.net, or I would say a DM, but my DMs are filling up with non-district related messages. So community@niknax.net, send an email, because I do go through those requests. I don't go through the requests about applications every day, but occasionally I'll sit down and I'll go through the application requests. So the other messages, regarding the marketplace and, people having issues and stuff, we go through pretty frequently. But if it's about an application, I'll sit down and I'll go through those. So, all right. So that's the answer to the question. This is why I should wait for questions to the end. Otherwise I get off on tangents. Anyway, we have 101,500 plus listings. That's a lot of listings. We finally broke that 100,000 listing mark. So like I said, make sure you're checking out our Buy It Now listings. In fact, is that a pic of me on the new platform feed? I don't know what you mean. What are we talking about? Is there a picture of me somewhere? Where? Now I'm curious. Where is there a picture of me? Hopefully it's a good picture. Oh, sorry, I'm distracted again. Thank you, Mary. Okay. Is it me? Hopefully, if it is a picture of me, it's a good one. Where was I? Oh yeah, let's look at some listings on Niknax. So one of my favorite searches to do is pottery figurine, just because. So when you're doing a search in this top bar, here, let me pull this off. Here we go. Thank you for your purchase. I appreciate that. When you're doing a search, make sure you're on Niknax.net. If you are on district, you're searching all of district. You want to be on Niknax.net so that you know that you're supporting our sellers here. And also you're under the protection of our guidelines. If you're anywhere else, if you're on, district.net, you could be purchasing from other marketplaces, and we can't protect you there. It's the Wild West. But yes, Niknax.net, that's our guidelines. Those are our sellers. That's our help desk. That's us. So, Niknax.net, pottery figurine, is one of my favorite searches to do, just because I like pottery figurines, and some really derpy stuff comes up. And of course we have none listed right now. So whoever lists them right now, we're going to see them. It probably helps if I spell it right with an R. There you go. Okay. So we've got this really nice one right here. It's got this really, I'm just kidding. I don't know why that's there. I don't know why that's mine. That's not pottery. Something's wonky here. Yeah, I don't know why glass is showing up here. Oh, you know what? It's because figurine is in the title. That's why. The little turtle. I know. Look how cute these things are. So that's one of my favorite searches to do. So anyway, this is just to encourage you guys to go out and search here on, look at the owl, search, you know, the buy it now listings. Here's your next house hippo. If you're like a house hippo person, we've got our shop hippo sitting over here on the ledge. Oh, look at that bear. So do some browsing on the, of those. Oh, look, the Howard Pierce. I do love some Howard Pierce. A lot of Artisonia rinconata. Sorry for not rolling my R. It's just not that kind of morning for me. Oh, where was that? Did you see that bird? It just disappeared. It was there a second ago. That weird bird. Where did it go? Edgecomb? Oh, there's a weird bird. Look, doesn't he look like Anderson Pottery? He's adorable. He looks like Anderson to me, but he's Edgecomb, but they did a really nice job making him look like Anderson. He's cute. All right. So anyway, that's your, you can buy that here segment of the day, which we did earlier on. I have to get back to my notes. Where did it go? Here we are. So that's your, you can buy that here. How do we pay the vendors? Okay, so Graham, okay, wait, I'm going to let Mary answer that in the comments, and I'm going to keep going through my notes. You know, it's funny. It's just, I'm laughing because I was taking some medication for ADHD and I stopped taking it. And the thought just occurred to me. I'm like, oh yeah, I don't really think it was doing much. But just now I realized that it maybe was helping a little bit. It wasn't like a huge help, but I'm like, how many minutes into this coffee chat? And I was like, you know what? Maybe I should start taking that again. Because clearly, that's so funny. Anyway, let's keep going on our notes. I'm going to answer questions at the end. I'm going to try to stay focused on this. And then tonight, I'm going to get back on the ADHD medicine. That was an aha moment for sure. That's so funny. And I had to laugh at myself. All right. So it's been really great to see some of the springtime stuff. Some of the springtime stuff around the marketplace. Obviously, I'm loving it. I selected all the floral stuff for our store. So if you're just popping in, as a reminder, make sure that you're checking out the store icon that you can see on the screen there. If you click on the store, I've selected a bunch of pieces from around the marketplace based on florals. So I'm definitely feeling the spring. Easter florals, St. Patrick's Day. You can find all that stuff. There's some really awesome postcards too that I was checking out. The Easter ones specifically would make great like little stuffers for your Easter baskets and stuff, like a little bit of vintage, you know. So I want to encourage you guys to go and check that out. We also have clothing. Oh my gosh, maybe like some cute little Easter dresses and stuff for the kiddos. Absolutely be browsing those 101,000 listings that are out there. Okay, so let's talk a bit about cosmetics. We did, as of last week, open up the category of cosmetics. So we do have some guidelines regarding cosmetics, and we covered those last week. If you go to our guidelines, you can see exactly what's required in order to list and sell cosmetics. I feel like I'm going to sneeze, but it'll be okay. So if you're going to do cosmetics, you have to get approval through community at niknax.net. And it's the understanding is that you follow the guidelines. Once you have approval, you must include it in in your host notes. Okay. So if you guys, happen to pop into a cosmetic sale, you can expect that it will say that they are an approved cosmetic seller in their host notes. And the great thing about host notes is that it's going to carry over for every sale. So, and as a seller, you can leave that in. I mean, even if you're not having a cosmetics sale, I mean, I think it does show like, oh, hey, I'm also a cosmetics seller. And so they know like, oh, I like cosmetics. Maybe I'll follow this seller because they also sell cosmetics. So you can always leave that in your host notes. All right. Oh yeah, we can add it as a category. That's a very, very good point. Let me write that on a post-it. I don't have it as a category, do I? Cosmetics. Okay. We gotta get on that. Okay. I just wrote it down. You are very welcome. You are very welcome. I'm gonna put that post-it up here. I just remembered I had a really important post-it somewhere. Somebody posted that I have to find that one. I wrote it the other day. I was like, guys, don't let me forget about this post-it. It's really important. And then I put it somewhere in the plethora of post-its. I'll find it. So anyway, so also fundraisers. You do have to reach out to us regarding fundraisers. It's kind of a case-by-case basis. Early on, we kind of had like a loose guidelines regarding fundraisers and stuff like that, just because, we're still small. I look at larger e-commerce platforms and I know that they have really strict guidelines and rules about their fundraisers and stuff like that. The reason being because, people take advantage. It always just takes that one person to be like, I'm going to do a fundraiser, and then they pocket the money. Unfortunately, there are people like that out there. It's just the way things are, and they ruin it for everybody. So we're small enough now. I feel like I know a lot of I know the majority of our sellers. And so for now, it's just kind of a case-by-case basis. But if you plan on doing any fundraisers or any charity, raising money for charities, you need to get approval from us. And that is not in our guidelines. I'm going to write, I don't think it is anyway. So I think we need to add that into the guidelines. It's kind of just been unspoken, or it's been like a spoken thing until now. So we're going to have to write that in. But we're also probably going to just require you to include that in your host notes if you are doing a fundraiser or a charity, and then you will be expected to just provide proof that you donated to the fundraiser or charity. Okay, so that'll be the expectation of that. We have the web seller dash version 2, which I know some people are able to see it, some cannot. I think some were able to see it and then they pulled it back. I remember being told it. So they're still working on that. If you are able to see version 2, please be playing with it, because eventually version 1 is going to go away. And so you're going to want to become familiar with that so that you're not like completely caught off guard when version 1 disappears. So get familiar with it. Touch the buttons. Oh, it went away. You know what? That's so funny, because that's what I was just realizing when I was like, oh, something changed, but I didn't know if it was just for me. So I didn't I wasn't like, oh, that's weird. Because sometimes things just happen for me and they don't happen for other people. Okay. There you go. Okay. 50% of the sellers don't have version 1 anymore. There you go. So it wasn't just me. I was like, I don't know what's going on. Okay, well, hopefully those of you who don't have version 1 anymore, we're playing with version 2, because now you don't have any options. You are on your own to figure it out. So make sure that if you still have it, you are using version 2, okay? If you have any issues, make sure that you, what I was going to say because make sure you're reporting any issues. So if you see an issue, make sure that you hit report. Okay. Any issues, hit report. Make sure that you send. You won't receive a response. So if you have an issue, hit report. But you won't be like, oh, we received a report or anything like that. You just have to have faith that they saw it and that they're working on it. Thank you. I went with the festive hair today. As far as guidelines go, if you need clarification on any of the guidelines, reach out to us. We will respond to you. We will get back to you. So any clarification at all, any questions, any concerns, as always, you guys can reach out to us. community@niknax.net. If you want to reach out to support at district, that's district. So we are Niknax, okay? Also, if we can't help you, and we're going to escalate you to district. I mean, we've done that before. I'm like, oh, I can't help you, but I'm going to escalate you to district. So if you're not sure and you want to reach out to us, we can always escalate you to district and let you know that, oh, wait, that's not something we can help you with, but we know people and we can show you exactly where you need to go. Okay. So, there's been a few glitches this week. Occasionally we do have glitches. There's some troubleshooting things that you guys can do. If you don't see an admin or a moderator in the sale that can kind of walk you through it. You guys do have the tools that you need to troubleshoot. One of those options is you can always refresh the stream. So there's an option up on the top. You click the X. If you're live, you can hit the X and refresh. And that's basically the same as hard closing and coming back in. You just don't have to do that step anymore. It's like they built it in. So that'll refresh your stream. So there's no more like, you guys probably remember we would swipe out and then we'd have to like open the app back up. We'd have to come back in. It was kind of a little bit of a process, but now you just hit refresh stream. You'll come back in. A lot of the times that will fix the issues just because it like brings it all back. And hopefully that'll fix it. If not, you can always do the hard close, which is you kind of just like move your finger up, and then once you see it, you just swipe up and just close out the app. Okay? Don't end your live. Just swipe up and then go out. And then open the app back up, go into your lives, and then start the live. All right? Okay. You saw my face. Oh. All right. So that is okay. I guess I don't have to. All right. Hang on. Get back to my notes. Give me one sec. So you have those options. A lot of the times, I'm trying to think what else you guys can do. As far as, a lot of the times we're kind of just lurking. We're kind of lurking in a lot of the sales. So even if you're like popping in and out of sales, you might even find us in one of the sales. So you might be able to be like, hey, are you in here? Like, hey, I need help. So yeah, we lurk around as well. So, if you see us, you can also holler at us. I can't be tagged to help. But you could maybe try tagging Mary or Christina. If you're having issues in a good way. Yeah, it's always in a good way. Always in a good way. I'm usually in the background. I don't like to disrupt sales. I feel like I mean disrupt. I don't like coming into a sale because I feel like it's disruptive. I feel like a lot of people are like, "Oh my gosh, Jocelyn," which I like. Yeah, I love when you guys see me and I'm there, But also, I feel like I want the attention to be on the sellers and what they're selling, and I feel like a lot of the times when I come into the sale, it can be disruptive. So I'll come in the back end. Like if I see something I like, I'll comment on it, But I mean, I like to be in there and I'm the nervous cop. No, I know you know. But yeah. So I mean, I'll hang out in there and I'll watch and then I'll comment and I'll be like, oh, that's really cool. And everyone's like, oh. But yeah, I mean, I'll pop in and out and I'll check it out and like hang out with you guys for a little while. But I don't like to be disruptive. So sometimes I'm in there, but that's why when I see like, something go like if there's an issue or something, all of a sudden you'll be like, oh, I didn't know Jocelyn was in here. But yeah. So there's that. I know. I mean, it's very sweet, but like I said, I mean, I just feel like I want you guys to be able to focus on what you're doing, and I don't want you to have to. It is stealth mode. It is stealth mode. Yeah, yeah. Um, but that's why I do that. But I do come in the front sometimes. All right, let's see. Notes. Okay. I think that's it. We got kudos and reminders. So kudos. Elsie, I see you in here. The thrifting teacher hosted a newbie train this past weekend. So thank you very much, Elsie, for the newbie train. We appreciate you hosting that and guiding our new sellers. As always, that's amazing that you're able to do that and help walk them through the ropes of new selling. And I think it's an awesome opportunity for new sellers to kind of like get their feet wet, not feel like a whole lot of pressure. It's very, very friendly and, just supportive. It's a very supportive train. So thank you to Elsie for running that train and making sure that our sellers feel supportive. So if anyone's out there and you are nervous about going live, you're thinking about it, you're not real sure, you're like, you know what, maybe I will give it a go. Feel free to reach out to Elsie, get signed up for the next newbie train. And give it a shot. Like I said, it's the next one. Okay. The next one's April 12th. And you don't feel like you have to show yourself. We have a lot of sellers who just show their hands. You don't have to feel like you have to show yourself. But it helps you like learn how to touch the buttons, learn how to enter the items. And, it's just a really good opportunity. And even if it's not your first time going live, maybe you've done it before, but you were like really nervous, it's good practice too. So the thrifting teacher, that's Elsie. Feel free to reach out to her and maybe hop aboard the next train. So congratulations to all the sellers who graduated the newbie train. I should say who participated. And next we have chat etiquette. Oh, this is a reminder. A reminder to have fun, explore all the different topics. Oh, we're talking about chat. Oh yeah, let's talk about that. That was actually, I was all like, oh, it was such a chill week, but maybe it wasn't a chill week. We didn't have an issue in the chat topics, didn't we? In the chat channels. That's right. I forgot about that. Like, oh, it was such a chill week. And I was like, oh wait, yeah. No, the community chat debacle. Okay, let's reminder everybody in the chat channels. let's remember to have fun, contribute positivity, productivity, and inspiration. Debacle is a good word to use. Wait, I need the exact verbiage here. I need the exact verbiage just to drive that point home. Hang on. Chat channels. Oh, why did it kick me out? Go back. There it goes. Okay, so the important, what is happening? I'm just clicking the buttons too fast. That's what's happening. So please remember to keep the chat channels healthy and productive, I think is the bottom line. And positive. My pinky ring. My little Siamese pinky ring. So healthy, productive, and positive is very important. If you don't have anything positive, okay, here's the bottom line. If you have an issue with a purchase that you've made, or if you have an issue with a seller, the productive and professional thing to do is always to reach out to the seller directly. That is the professional thing to do. It's not to post it in the chat channels. That's just what you do. That's what you do. And if you're not able to resolve it, then you can reach out to us and we will step in and we will act as the mediator. But there's absolutely no reason to just be causing drama on the chat channels. It's silly. It's silly. And there in no way, shape, or form is posting complaints about a purchase on Niknax, complaining about that in the chat channels. No way, shape, or form is that productive or healthy. Okay. So even in our guidelines, like when I first wrote them, I specifically wrote that the correct way for a buyer to go about being unhappy with an item, if an item is not as described, the correct protocol is to reach out to the seller and let them know. And if it can't be resolved, next step is to reach out to community@niknax.net. Let us know. We'll step in. We'll try to mediate. And then after that, we're going to escalate it to district and go from there. Okay. So that's how we handle things around here. But we don't go to the chat channels and do that. So that's what we have to say about that. So another way to use the chat channels, if you're going to use them the way that they're intended to be used, to spread, positivity, to promote your sales, what you have for sale. Let me turn you guys around. Let me get off of it. I was pulling up the drama, but we don't need to be looking at that. Hang on. Here's the layouts. So we have all the chat channels here. I have a lot more chat channels than everybody else. So you're probably like, whoa, look at all those chat channels. But anyway, we have under chat channels, we have the community chat channel. We have the ID Me. We have all of this. We have glass, jewelry, art, everything else. We have, like I said, I have a few extra seller chat channels. So our sellers can be utilizing those. This is for all of our trains. And then, we have like jewelry. So for everybody who loves jewelry, we have a chat dedicated to jewelry, handmade. So just remember, this is a great place for the community to get together, to chat about things, things that they love. So, if pottery is your thing, you can get in here. You can be chatting about pottery, different types of pottery, studio pottery, glass. We even have like a Fenton chat. So I would encourage you guys to explore that, start a conversation about something that you love or you're passionate about. Okay. So there you go. Chat channels. Get on them chat channels. All right, let me get back to our notes. It is Tuesday. I know it snuck up on us this week with that daylight savings time. Oopsies, I lost my notes again. Why does this keep happening to me? It's because I have too many windows open, that's why. There we go. Wait, nope, that's not it. Shoot. Hang on, I lost my notes. Give me a second. I'll get back to them. Too many windows. Oh, there they are. Okay. So coming up, we have March 22nd and 23rd is our Through the Decades event. So Through the Decades. So reminder, that just means like our sellers are picking like a decade. So you could do like 90s, 80s, 20s, deco, like any Victorian. And it's just supposed to be fun. So please don't stress about it if you're in that event. I know it might sound like it could be stressful, but I think we filled it up last week. I'm really excited about it. March 22nd and 23rd. And yes, you can dress up. It's going to be so much fun. So that is going to be 22nd through the 23rd. It's coming up fast. So make sure that if you're in that event, you're sourcing for it. Even though it's like a decade's train, not necessarily does it mean it has to be from that decade, but it could be inspired by. For instance, maybe you pick the 20s and you find something that looks very Art Deco. I know there was like an Art Deco revival, so make sure that like you've chosen a decade and you're kind of like staying true to that, and you're picking things that, give the vibe, and you can interpret it. More on theme, but less specific. So just have fun with it, please have fun with it. And I'm excited to see what our sellers come up with. So, Fast Friday Freight is this Friday. We're doing Fast Friday Freight. Signups will be posted today. So look in the Gazette on the homepage for details. The theme is going to be kitsch. Theme is kitsch. So that'll be fun. I know, kitsch. We love our, especially anthropomorphic kitsch. That's always fun. So that'll be Fast Friday Freight. For those of you who are not familiar with that, it's like a 15-minute like increment. So it's just every 15 minutes it like goes to the next seller. It's very fun. So that'll be on Friday. Make sure you're checking the Gazette if you want. What's kitsch? Oh my gosh. Here, let's look on Niknax. I'll show you what kitsch is. Can't lose my notes though. That's important. I'll show you what kitsch is. Fish? Oh, that would be fun, actually. We should have a theme for fish. I have lots of fish. I have puffer fish, in fact. Here we go. Let me do your one. Kitschy. So this is kitsch. I don't know why it just keeps spinning. They're like a little knee hugger. Oh my gosh, look at this little Anna Lee. Got some, that's not California. That looks Japanese. What is this? Oh, that's an apple. There's some scheduled stuff in here. Oh, look. Oh, those are the ones with the double eyes. That's kind of cool. That's definitely kitschy. Yeah, so they're, kitschy stuff. It's just, whimsical and cute and kitschy. It's not creepy. My favorite is anthropomorphic kitsch. That's my favorite. That's like a little bit more desirable and spendy at times. Oh, I lost my window again. Hang tight. When I didn't even leave the window because I was afraid I was going to lose it. And then I closed out. Hang on, 17 windows. I got to get back to the right one. All right, here we go. We're back. All right, so April, we're having our glass gallery, the 5th and the 6th. Signups will be coming soon, so stay tuned for that. You have no sound. Who doesn't have sound? You have no sound. Refresh. So stay tuned for the glass gallery sign up. All right. More info will be posted in the Gazette. So keep an eye on that. Halfway to Halloween is April 26th and 27th. We're doing halfway to Halloween. And then May is going to be paperweights. Okay, that'll be in May. He's good, I guess. So weird. So we actually have an inspirational quote this time. The greatness of a community is most accurately measured by the compassionate action of its members. by Loretta Scott King. So there you go. That's a good quote. Everybody love everybody. Margaret Mead. Oh, wait, is that who said that? Who said it? Now I'm going to Google it. Colette? Listen, you said Coretta, and I'm like, Coretta? Is that who it is? Coretta? Coretta Scott King. Coretta Scott King. I'm like, Colette? Except when you're bidding. Coretta Scott King. Okay. Coretta Scott King. I didn't know if it was a typo. I was like, is it a typo? Coretta Scott King. That is a good quote. I like that one. That should be in our guidelines right there. We should put that on the top. And then like with a little asterisk, we should put except in auctions. So anyway, that was right. So that was our notes for today. Like I said, we didn't have a whole lot. I mean, it was a really good week. It was a great week. And I thank all of you for making it a great week. Like I said, it was very positive. We just had like a chill week. We had a chill week. I feel like everybody was just hanging out, being a great community. We had lots of new members coming in, and yeah, I mean, Junk Monkey had a great week sourcing. So I think what more could we ask for? Celestial Vibes Train is happening on Sunday. That's exciting. Of course you can ask a question. It's question time. Let's go. Yeah, spring cleaning. That's great. Yeah, that's what they're doing. They're doing their spring cleaning. It's time. Seller meetup in Vegas tomorrow. That's right. They're having that event in Vegas. That's right. I forgot about that. Our lipstick that has makeup on it. So the thing, you can't sell used cosmetics. That would be considered used cosmetics, and you can't sell the used cosmetics. So you would need to empty out the used portion of it, and then you could sell the container. And that's like a health thing. Yeah. I think I told the story a few weeks ago of where we had to dump out all of that vintage perfume because it wasn't allowed on. Yeah. Other platforms don't allow it. And so we're kind of just like mimicking their rules. And I know they probably have a reason for all having the same policy of no like used cosmetics at all. So I'm like, you know what? There's probably a reason they have that rule. So yeah, we're going the same route. Kudos to district for adding member name to the packing slips. Sweet. I don't do the packing, so I don't know. But that I could see how that would be a huge help. I think like the dried up residue in the bottom is not going to be an issue. I mean, I think when it has liquid in it, that's the concern. That's definitely the concern. Yeah, and I think that's what it is. I think it's like a health issue because they're afraid somebody's going to like get it and then they're going to eat it and they're going to die. I mean, that would be my concern is that, oh my gosh, I bought this lipstick on Niknax and then I ate it and I died. You know, or I mean, it wouldn't be them talking about it because they'd be dead, but it would be like, you know, their relative who's really mad about it. I ate it and then I died. They wouldn't be around to talk about it, but somebody would. It'd be really bad publicity, trust me. And then they started selling cosmetics. and somebody died, and that was the end of Niknax. But it had a good run. It really did. It had a good run. Yeah, or some weird skin disease. Yeah, they would probably be around to talk about that one. just probably not a good thing. just wipe the fuzzy stuff off. It'll be fine. Wasn't there some beauty influencer that had like the fuzzy lipsticks that everybody was talking about? I can't remember her name. They totally canceled her. I mean, she was selling them new and they had like fuzz on them. I forget what her name was. Yeah, no return policy on cosmetics. 100% agree. We need to add that to the guidelines. No returns on cosmetics. And if you're selling cosmetics, you might want to include that in your policy, like in your host notes. You pay comps are kind of. How do I figure it out? It's kind of based on what I pay. Like, so one thing that I always suggest to anyone who sells on Niknax is when you're pricing your items, always price your items for the least amount that you'd be happy with. I feel like part of the trap of other e-commerce sites is a lot of the buyers have been conditioned to expect things for $1. Everybody's doing $1 starts, but like they're conditioned now. And the one thing that's really important to me and has been important to me from the beginning of starting Niknax is that our sellers are selling things for the least amount that they're happy with. And we're not conditioning buyers to expect things for nothing. We have standards and our items are quality items. And so we want to get the least amount. I don't want buyers. I don't want sellers coming to me and being like, I'm losing money. Well, if you're losing money, then it's your fault for not pricing your items at the least amount that you're happy with. So absolutely, that's how you should be pricing your items. I mean, but see, if I get an item for for $20 and I know it's worth 100, I might, if I'm auctioning it, I might start it at 50. I might start it at 60, so I know I'm making money on it. Somebody who knows what it's worth might bid it up to like 70 or 80, knowing it's worth 100. They're still getting a deal. I'm making money on it. I started at 50. So, it's just, thinking about where you're happy. As far as Canadian shipping goes, I know a lot of our sellers had turned off Canadian shipping when the postal, the Canadian Post shut down their postal, their post. So that was off for a while. I'm not sure if maybe they still have it turned off and they forgot to turn it back on. I would suggest if you see an item you specifically want, asking that seller if they would consider selling that. Do we have a troll? I don't see anybody. I would suggest maybe asking that seller specifically if they would send that item to Canada, or turn on Canadian shipping. So, what's the blue glass face body thing behind you? Oh, that? It's a Empoli soldier. I've had him around for so long. He's Empoli. He's a decanter. I was just like a headless man that hangs out behind me, Oh, yeah. So buyer etiquette, I mean, that goes beyond etiquette. That goes to our guidelines. I feel like it's not even just etiquette. We have guidelines that govern our buyers, not just our sellers. We have a whole bunch of guidelines for buyers as well. As far as cancellations go, if you cancel on too many of our sellers, I'm going to boot you from Niknax. So just keep that in mind as a buyer. If you're having remorse and you have too much remorse, and I hear about it or I see it, because I look at our transactions. And so if I see a certain buyer that's continually canceling sales, and I can see like, oh, refund, 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 and I'm like, why do they keep getting refunds? I'm going to reach out to the seller and be like, hey, can you tell me why this buyer was refunded? And I'm going to reach out to all of the sellers that refunded this buyer. I'm going to get the story. And then once I have the story, oh, they contacted me, and they bid by mistake. If they bid by mistake 5 times from 5 different sellers, I'm going to boot them, because we don't really tolerate that here. And one of my favorite things is finding patterns. I love finding patterns. And so if I see patterns, if I see a buyer taking advantage, and having that remorse accidentally on purpose. Yeah, I mean, I don't tolerate that for our sellers. Our sellers are trying to make a living here. I can understand, if you made a mistake once, maybe twice over the course of months, but if it's all grouped together, I'm gonna message you and say, what's the deal here? Why is this happening? And I have done that. I've had people get really mad at me. But at the end of the day, I'm looking out for our sellers, and that's why I'm here. I mean, I'll look out for our buyers just the same. If I see a seller taking advantage of buyers, I'm gonna do the same thing. But I'm gonna look out for our sellers. I'm gonna go to bat for them, and it is what it is. So anyway, if you go to our guidelines, you will find buyer policies. There's an entire section on cancellations that basically says a bid is a contract. It's expected that buyers bid responsibly. Basically, an excessive number of cancellations or refund requests initiated by a buyer will result in a member's suspension from Niknax. Okay. Carmen, can you send a message to community@niknax.net? Just send me a message and give me the details of that. Okay, cool. Yeah, send me the details, all right? And I will look into that for you. So failed payments. In the event of multiple failed payments, this is another one, without resolution, a buyer will receive a message requesting they square up with the affected sellers. If the buyer does not respond or square up within 24 hours, they will be removed. This is another one that's really important. I had to add in. This was just last week. The reason being that, if you're bidding on something and your payments are not going through, after a certain amount of time, those items will leave your cart, and the seller's left without payment. So if you're actively bidding against somebody else, that seller's losing out on that sale. They're losing out on that sale, and they could have sold it to the second bidder. So if you're having too many of those, and you're not, and you're not squaring up with them after the fact, unfortunately, even if it's an issue with your bank, you need to be on top of that. You need to be on. And we do have some buyers who their bank just doesn't like Niknax, but they are so on top of that, and I respect them for that. Like, we have some really, really amazing buyers, who are consistently, supporting our sellers, and their bank hates Niknax, but they are so on top of that. They get the failed payments, and I'll even get messages from seller like, oh my gosh, I got a failed payment, and they'll tell me who the buyer is, and I'm like, don't worry, they'll take care of it. And sure enough, as soon as the bank opens in the morning, it's cleared, it's done, it's taken care of, versus other buyers who I'm like, oh, and then it adds up and it adds up. And I'm like, okay, unfortunately, we can't have that happening. Unclaimed packages and return to sender, we've been over that. Item not as described. This is, the issue we were talking about in the chat channels. We had, somebody complaining about, how this item was not as described. But what they really needed to do was reach out to the seller. They didn't need to be putting it in the community chat. And that was the conversation. that was happening. And it's like, okay, well, reach out to the seller. And it was back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And it was like, okay, I'm shutting down your chat ability. And I just turned off the ability to chat in chat. I can do that. That's the first and only time I've ever turned off somebody's ability to chat in the chat channels. But I just was tired of going back and forth. It was like, okay, time to stop. But after 3 warnings, when you don't stop, I'm just going to shut it down. And then, of course, we have damaged in delivery note on here. So if you want to look at the buyer guidelines and expectations, go and check out the guidelines, okay? And sellers, it's important for you to know these too, because if you have buyers reaching out to you, you need to understand what is expected of your buyers, in addition to the buyers knowing what's expected. So make sure that you understand these as well, okay? All right. Well, we have a raid to do. Yes, you can. Yep, Vintage World. Absolutely. Yep, just put approved cosmetic seller in the description, and I'll add that also into our guidelines. Approved cosmetic seller. Be able to buy it now. Okay. One thing I have mentioned is duplicating your item. Scottish and so like your oldest items, I duplicate them, and then I just I erase the old one just to keep them in the front of the algorithm. That would be a result of us being on Niknax.net versus district. Isn't the issue of the search. If you go to district.net, you can search for users, but on Niknax.net, you can't search specifically for the user, unfortunately. Yes, Mary's saying, if you have any further questions, you can post them on the chat channels. But we're going to go raid Claudine. We're going to raid Claudine. I have let Claudine know we are going to raid her. So we're raiding Claudine today. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I might do a pop-up later. We did trivia last night over at, I said it a million times, Fiddler's Mayapple down the road from us, as I eat there all the time. They started trivia. Ashton is like, he's convinced I'm going to be the best at it because I'm an old head. It's like thing the kids say. I'm really not that good, but it's a really fun thing to do with the kids. So we're going to do that tonight, but I might have like a little sale before that. I'm not sure. So I might pop up, I might not, but everybody have a really wonderful day. I appreciate you all being here. I adore you all so much. I love that you're a part of Niknax. Yeah, I love you all so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting me, for supporting all of our sellers. I'm going to pass you along before I get emotional. But maybe I'll see you guys later today. And everybody say hi to Claudine. Give her a follow and show her some love. All right. All right, here we go. Let's see. Here we go.